Just hours ago, an FDA advisory panel voted to authorize a Moderna booster shot for those 65 and older or considered high risk. Pfizer got approval for their booster just weeks ago. And tomorrow, the same panel will have a chance to vote on whether or not a Johnson & Johnson booster is needed. I had a chance to speak with one of those panelists today.
We do have a unanimous 19 out of 19 yes votes.
Thursday's Moderna booster shot vote came after hours of testimony and presentations.
New available data support the safety and effectiveness of Moderna COVID-19 vaccine for use under EUA as a booster dose.
The FDA advisory panel voted to authorize the Moderna booster shot for those vaccinated at least 6 months ago who are high risk or over 65. Pfizer has similar conditions for their booster shot with one major difference. The Moderna booster is half its original dose.
The Moderna vaccine is constructed differently than the Pfizer vaccine. And I think the company compared both the standard dose and this reduced dose and found that the reduced dose worked adequately and maybe had less side effects.
Dr. Mark Sawyer is an infectious disease expert at Rady Children's Hospital. He sits on the FDA advisory panel.
There's some very convincing data from Israel about the potential role for booster doses in reducing, increases in infection. So that was considered as part of the discussion and the vote.
A CDC committee will meet next week to set guidelines for the rollout. Moderna booster shots are already being administered to some immunocompromised Americans. Meanwhile, the FDA panel will vote tomorrow on whether to authorize a second Johnson & Johnson dose for some high-risk Americans, and they'll hear a presentation on mixing booster shots from different manufacturers. Prior to today's vote, President Biden touted progress on getting more Americans vaccinated, but he says the number of unvaccinated Americans, 66 million, is still too high.
Please get vaccinated. That's how we put this pandemic behind us.
So that's Moderna and Pfizer. What's next for Johnson & Johnson?
So the same panel will meet tomorrow, and I asked Dr. Sawyer about that. He's the local doctor that's on this panel, and I said, what do you anticipate with tomorrow's vote? And he said, well, obviously he has to wait to see the evidence, but he anticipates that the panel will authorize the J&J booster or the J&J second shot tomorrow as well, which would mean Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J is all available.
We keep moving forward with these different authorizations, waiting for full authorization for all of them, those two.
Exactly, yeah.